Hi guys. So I just had this conversation about the creator economy. And I don't know if any of you have thought about this, but I think that concept is innately detrimental to society. Hear me out, okay? So what the creator economy, to my understanding, is and what it entails is for you or anybody to start creating content for social media, on different platforms, to start creating e-products, and to essentially free yourself from having a 9 to 5, to allowing yourself to have time freedom, and of course, all the infinitely scalable ways in which you can make money, like an email list and, ad revenue and all this stuff, right? And I mean, me personally, I'm a trainer, and for 4 or 5 years, I've thought about, how awesome it would be to become a creator who can then make money offline, like not having to be here in person training people, because it, can be tiring. So I thought, man, it would be so great for me if I could go traveling, right? I've never been to Europe still, and I'm almost 40. I've never been to like so many parts of Asia. I've like sacrificed my entire 20s and most of my 30s now for my business. But then the more I thought about it, the more it seems to be great for the individual, but not great for society. If all of us, say universally, if everybody has the opportunity to become a creator, and there's an opportunity cost associated with that, right? So what are those opportunity costs? Basically, all the other avenues that that person would take to make a living. What does that mean? That means your teacher, your nurse, doctor, landscaper, florist, mechanic, receptionist, dental hygienist, dentist. How many different professions make up our society? Thousands upon thousands. I think this is something that maybe people who are outside of the creator economy have been noticing and talking about. But I recently just started talking on Twitter a lot more, and just kind of exploring and meeting people on there, and just getting a feel for that platform. And I've come across quite a lot of creators and people who are speaking out about different ways to grow, to become an actual monetized creator. And after a couple of weeks, they started to all sound the same. They're all saying the same shit. And that got me thinking. I'm like, what value are you providing to the rest of the world? I mean, it's great for you individually, as a person, if you're making tens of thousands or, millions a year from just voicing your opinion and sharing your philosophies, and, making money from that because people appreciate listening to you and they're happy to pay money for that. I mean, that's awesome for you. But what about if that was extrapolated to everyone else we know? If everyone then starts to pursue being a creator, or being a TikTok star, or being on OnlyFans, right? If we all want to liberate ourselves from having to trade time for money, and to, be able to essentially live wherever you want, yeah, that's great for you. But how about the collective? So that's my question. And then as the conversation went on, then I gave myself as an example. So I've been a fitness trainer for now entering my 10th year, right? And I've trained hundreds of people, and I've been able to, honestly, it's so much fun to train all these different types of people, and to connect with them on a deeper and deeper level, and to have them become so trusting of me, and to share in this energy together, which is always positive. Like fitness is always positive. So if I decided to really take becoming a creator seriously and I stop my business, right now I have about 65 clients. 65 people would have to go find a new trainer. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, a person is a person. A person's health is important to them and not to their loved ones. So what happens to them? Maybe they'll potentially get scammed by the new trainer or, the new fitness studio that they go to work with next. Maybe they won't ever go back to doing anything about their health. And then they develop cancer or diabetes, or they become addicted to, this and that. They can't manage their stress. They develop a tumor. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Infinite possibilities out there, right? I'm not saying you need to stick with your 9 to 5, or you need to just keep doing whatever it is you're doing just because your own needs don't matter. But I am saying that not everyone can be a creator. Not everyone can be a creator. Because who is going to teach your kids if all the people that would otherwise become an early childhood educator, become a teacher, become a librarian, who will take care of your kids if they're all creators? Who will think to even become a police officer, heaven forbid, a firefighter? Who's going to fill those roles that we need to keep running? I think people like Dan Koe, for instance, they sell a dream that they themselves have been able to make reality for themselves. But that dream, is it good for everybody else? Is there a solution to this? I don't see one, because, it's already happening. What are the Gen Zs gonna do when they become adults and they're 30 or 40 and they have needs? What are they gonna do? They need services. You need an accountant, right? You need a bookkeeper, say, if you have a business. Who's gonna do these jobs? So I think ultimately, before everyone hops on the bandwagon to try to become a creator and to, fill out their email list and put out all these different types of content, like, why are you doing this? Is it because you genuinely have really, really important value you want to share? Because it's like dying to come out of you? Or is it because you want to just free yourself and go live in Bali? And that's fine too. No judgment, honestly. But as someone who is almost 40 and has seen this society transform, and I grew up without a phone. I grew up without the internet, really. Like, we didn't even have a TV. So I saw this world come from like playing with dirt and like playing on the playground and interacting with people like face to face when you're a kid, to now all these screens around. All these screens. And the creator economy essentially encourages you, it requires you to be on a screen, to put out more content for a screen, to be consumed through a screen. So is that useful to us? We gotta eat. We gotta get our cars like fixed. We need an oil change. We need our kids taught. Who's gonna do all these things? You know who's gonna do all these things? Mega corporations. Like the Walmarts, what else do we got? The Amazons of the world. Then when people, when they shift their ambitions away from doing something in real life, like opening a storefront, starting a new business, selling physical things here, maybe opening a salon, when they shift their focus to, I'll just make some content, I'll just do like makeup tutorials online, right? I'll just like talk about this and that online, and like I'll make money that way, and I won't have to, this is the key, I won't have to have capital to open up a store with. I won't have to take out a loan from the bank. I won't have to invest. I won't have to find investors. So the startup for starting online is $0, and that is why it is so attractive to people. It is $0, and anyone can do it. And people like Dan Koe tell you that no matter your age, you can go and start because you have something of value to tell, to share with the world. Is that true? Is that actually true? I don't think so. I'm going to have to say I do not agree with that. Some people need to go and gain a lot of life experience and to do a lot of self-reflection before they have really something that they can share that will be impactful, positively so. Okay, one last point that I'd like to make about this is how it cannot be universally applied as a principle. Okay, so universal applicability is always my main focus whenever I think about whether something should be done or not done. So when I was, thinking about whether I should enter fitness, I thought about it and whether or not its value can be accessible to everybody. And it can. There are no detrimental side effects or consequences to me becoming a trainer and training people from 10 years old all the way to 100. There's no bad consequences. So I thought, okay, great, I will become a trainer. Now, I'm vegan, right? And the reason I'm vegan is because, to my best understanding, there is really no logical argument against it. Now, the opposite view is the carnivore diet, right? And people who say hunting, you should go hunting, like Rogan, he'll tell you to go elk hunting and stuff like that. So can everyone on the planet go hunting? How much of our mammals, land mammals, all the wild animals out there on this planet, what percentage do they make up of the entire pie of all land mammals here? The last time I looked, it was about 4%. So industrialized agriculture minus humans, I don't know how many humans, are a part of that biomass, but most of the mammals out there, most of the animals that we're eating come from industry. So if we all start hunting, how long will that 4% last us? Like maybe a day if we're lucky? So clearly, if we all become hunters, that will not work. And that's why I am innately against eating like a carnivore and stuff like that. Because, come on. If you're a carnivore and you care about your health, but industrialized agriculture causes so much damage to the environments that, that the industry has to operate on. And the people who have to work in that industry become traumatized and become disordered, and they take it home to their families and their kids. The amount of damage it does, I cannot agree with, so therefore I'm vegan. So same thing, let's use that same principle for the creator economy. When you apply whether or not you can have everybody become a creator, whether they succeed at it or not, what is the cost we all have to pay for everyone to be given that chance? So my stance on this is that I'm still advocating for people to set out on whatever path it is that they want to do, whether it's creator in the online realm or not. I would suggest that if you're considering, becoming a creator or an influencer, well, the world is huge, right? There's so many things you can do, and it will be lonely. You'll be very lonely just being by yourself creating content. And not only lonely, you will create your own bubble. The world that you will live in is gonna be creator world. It'll be your niche. But how about all the other realms out there that we can experience and interact with, and the people we can meet and connect with from those realms? Like even just earlier, I got into the elevator. There was a man who came, and we waited for the elevator together, right? And then I just said, hey, how's it going? And we had a little conversation. And from that little conversation, I asked him where his sandals are from because they look kind of cute. And I was like, hey, those are pretty nice. And then I asked him where they're from, and he told me a new store that was down the street in my city. Now, if I never struck up a conversation with him, and it was nice just to chat for a minute as we were waiting, then I wouldn't have learned that there is a new store. Something so small. You interact with someone in real life, you share some energy, right? You share that energy. It's so different from being on a screen. So I hope there's still entrepreneurial people out there still hoping to make a difference in our physical world. And if not entrepreneur, just keep, like, if you have a profession you want to work at, like you want to work towards, you want to study towards, like nursing, dentistry, education, accounting, whatever it is you want to do, if it's what you want to do, that's awesome, because we need you, okay? The creator market is getting saturated. Everyone can be a creator. But ultimately, what good is that going to do for us as a society? Because we still got to eat. We still got to do our taxes. We got to put our kids somewhere. We got to have a running car. Who's going to take care of all this? One last thing. We don't need more screen time. We need to get back out there into the world with fresh air. And if you have trees in your city, go and wander around them. Do some reconnecting with nature. Go talk to people again in real life. That's what we need more of, especially after something like the pandemic. Sending you lots of love, lots of support. Hit me up if you have any cool topics you want to talk about. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!